Well, I look a mess. It's okay. Um, it seems like um, they had the debate today, and I have to admit it was pretty embarrassing. Like, um, uh, like you know, I don't, it's embarrassing right now to have the rest of the world hear some of this crazy stuff that we have to go through as like females, people that have a lot of melon, uh, or just if you the hate and the racism that um, we've been seeing for the last 3 years. Um, Trump didn't want to deny uh, the the supremacists, white supremacists, which I think is funny because I just think that Putin and uh, and I just think Putin's very smart and he knows that racism is a excellent way to destroy our civil rights and our constitution. And then Trump's like acting like he still wants to get rid of Medicare, that it's something really bad for people to have health care. I was looking at some show and they were showing some buildings in China. One of the buildings was like one of the biggest insurance companies. Who knows? Maybe most of these insurance companies could be, out of China. you know, but you're draining Americans, and I don't know how long that could go on. But um, without us really getting back into manufacturing some type of um, goods, and even our stores are not as full as they used to be before Corona. You know, like you know, um, um, it shows you the grievous errors that having a corporation think they're people in the um, they're not really. Well, there's a lot of profit, I guess, being made on during the corona for certain people, um, but for the rest of us, it's really sort of strange. Like here in Memphis, uh, uh, I think we do have some corona cases. The only two people I know died recently were very ill beforehand, and um, I don't even know if they like um, they're saying it's the corona, but we've had for a while respiratory problems um, in this area before corona, so. Um, it's like over in this area, we have a coal plant, we have the sewer plant, we have the junction, so we have the trains coming back and forth, and then like people come over here to dump their trash. There's like for some reason there's a whole bunch of mattresses people have been dumping recently, and like with my trash pickup, they will pick up bigger items. You might have to call them, but they'll pick up bigger items. They just have to be set out in a certain way. But they will come and pick up bigger items. So, I think they just know they're not going to get caught, and so they don't. They don't care as long as their cars are clean. But they dump a lot of trash. It's very, very polluted here. Um, it's it's like sometimes I think that like this the city is just emptying their trash truck around. Because like wherever there's any like little wilderness, like a lot that's overgrown, with trees or something, that's where they dump their trash, tires, baby diapers, important papers. You can read their names on some stuff. Their whole house they dump couches and all this. But so America to me is really has uh, been devastated not only with the pollution but the continued pollution. Even Trump wants to get rid of a lot of regulations that would have stopped pollution. So here we are in an era where we're in the service industry. We're not in the manufacturing industry, and probably the number one thing we do is war around the world, especially in the Middle East. And Trump's messing all that up, you know. And anyway, he sounded like a fool. Like if I was him, I would have just came out with my taxes. Like, here's my tax papers, and he can't do any of that because I guess everything that the reporters found was true. It probably because like the courts already said that that his tax papers can be seen, and like we're coming up to the what would be his second term, but we're hoping it won't be because it's just we just can't have white supremacists running around here. They really have no clue of really um, what white races was about in the 1700s. Like they want to go back to slavery and all this, and women and suffrage. Women are suffering right now, getting less pay. Like basically, like in some areas it's just a rape society. You could do whatever you want to children, boys, girls, whatever. Whoop them or whatever. Because sex industry is a big industry, it sells a lot, and the people that are in the sex industry, a lot of them, um, the more harm. They're not very smart like Trump. He's not very smart. Like they got this narcissistic way that that it's like people that like slapstick. Well, not all people that like slapstick comedy is narcissistic, but I don't like it at all. What I'm saying? It's like all you gotta do is kick somebody in the balls or say the word ball or ass, and that's the whole comedy of it all. And but I like my comedy a little deep, a little bit, like um, George Collins or Richard Pryor or Red Fox or was it Mama Maple? Anything but sort of. I don't like like they fell down the steps and like that type of comedy, like Chaplin. That wasn't you know you fall down the steps, or you get hit in the head with something. Those are not to me funny at all. And my sinus medicine. It got cold here, so we'll see. Hopefully, our elections. If the only way I think Trump could win if the election do get rigged, but we have to have election reform also along with police reform because the police are just out of order. I mean, they're just so disrespectful to our Constitution, to our laws, to our citizens. Um, I got a phone call. You know how you get all those phone calls, people soliciting stuff, talking about do I want to give to the police something fund to help police families, And I'm like, I'm not stupid. I know policemen have jobs and they get a paycheck. This is a capitalist society. Go cash your paycheck, bitch. Because it ain't a policeman. If it is, they're like over here. They just do a lot. I don't know what they do, but um, it's not much of police work, because like basically I think the number one thing that you have to call the police for is for insurance purpose, like your car wreck or something like that, so you can file your and get your insurance. But if you have domestic or personal problems, you're probably a lot better off to not, even mental problems, like say somebody, even if they're suicidal, you're probably a lot better off taking them down to the emergency room yourself or something, than calling the police, because you see that their response is to kill, to murder, and they have a license and they've been okay to kill because they have gotten away with it time and time again, and it's only a fluke when they have to do time. We could just see with this Breonna Taylor, um, they didn't, it's a game to these policemen. They don't do the paperwork. From what I understand, they didn't have the paperwork right. They think part of their job is lying. So everything they said, pertaining to her has been a lie. Uh, um, and then they don't have no self-respect to own up. I think that the policeman that got shot in his leg got shot by another policeman. They were going to arrest somebody, and they knew better. They knew they had the wrong house. Probably as soon as they came up there, because they had just finished arresting the Miss Taylor's ex, and she wasn't with them anymore. And then they lied about, oh well, the postal general told us she was getting packages, and the United States Postal Service is really good, because they're one of the peoples that stop bombs from going in the mail. And I don't know, when they had, after 9/11, they had that, was it Amtrak, some type of poison they were sending in the mail. Amtrak, I don't know, can't remember. But anyway, so they're good at detecting stuff. The police department would do good to have x-ray machines in their jails instead of having these policemen do manual body searches, because they do not have the emotional mentality, and I think like people get mistaken with, like, oh, does that make them dumb that they're emotionally retarded? No, it just means that, um, like certain things will make you laugh, that your interaction with females, um, you know, uh, 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 well, let me put it this way. My definition of a pimp is someone that is totally dependent on a female as he was as a child. And as a child, he will have a temper tantrum when he doesn't get her way, and act out. And children will act out if they've been sexually abused, sexually and physically. And that's what you get from a pimp, is you get sexually and physical abuse as they demand this woman to feed, clothe, and house him. And the best way to punish a woman is to make her have, sex with different men, And I don't even think, like, even if you're a male and you're a male prostitute, like they always talk about, oh, gays are more promiscuous. Yeah, even, if you're a human, you're a human. So, period. But but that's my definition of a pimp. And is and does that make the pimp dumb or smart? In his area, he knows what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, I'm sure, like, there's a bunch of doctors that are very smart in their area, but, like, let's say you want them to fly a plane. They have no clue, maybe. As to somebody else, a pilot has no clue, so you know what I'm saying? You can't really find the equal to it, you know. And my point is that the only equal I could find with Trump is somebody that has dementia or Alzheimer's, or is just a lying thief, a lying racist thief, and that's more how he came off as, is somebody that not like doing his homework, like in the White House, which means reading your brief, um, um, trying to handle problems to make the American citizens' life, more palatable. We have fires going on on the West Coast, in the Gulf Coast of Mexico. We got flooding, and we just have bad weather all around. We have and all this time we have COVID, coronavirus going on too. So so his homework would have been to find solutions, to find masks, to find protective equipment, find ventilators, have factories open up in America and make these things, plastic gloves, head coverings, even slip things on your feet. That was his, that's sort of his job, to make sure that that the farmers, will get kicked into action, and if they're producing too much milk and nobody's they can't sell it anyplace else to make cheese. If they have too much pork, that's not, because, like, we got Thanksgiving and Christmas coming up. Find ways to promote these products, and a lot of these products can be cured and last for years. And because, like, one time we had government cheese, so they could have government cheese, government beef, whatever. We could have made beef jerky or something. We could have put people that was unemployment in work, for the benefits. We could have been collecting tires, grinding them up to make rubber rafts or something. We could have been making windmills in case, the storms get worse, that we won't have to only depend on nuclear, coal, or for energy. We could have people manufacturing solar panels. Also, price, like, why would we need these in a disasters? Because every time we have a hurricane or that comes up on the East Coast or comes up in the Gulf, that the lights go out. Like, it's a terrible storm. It's always like, I know when I was in New Orleans for Katrina, it was August. Well, after the storm, you have bright sunshine. Sort of funny, because I don't remember hearing any birds or seeing any birds. Just a building that was burning. It had a chemical burn. Left a nice stench there. Well, anyway, I'm going to get off. I just really was having a hard time getting my apps to come up, and so I finally did. And, like, I'm really wondering what's going to happen on November the 3rd, that Tuesday, that we go to vote. I think that we have no choice but to vote Trump out of office, because he's humiliating us. He's embarrassing, and he's just shameful. And he hasn't had one solution, just destruction, just blame, just hurt. And we don't really want that type of white racist, type of thinking because they, first of all, they got history really twisted. You know, I feel like the people like that I heard knew that was from Germany, um, and they still live there. Um, World War II wasn't anything but a lot of citizens actually getting killed. You know, when you hear about they're doing these foxholes, you know, this is on their farmland. Tractors are running over. Where else you got big open fields? This is where this is their pastures, their farmlands they're tearing up. That's why you have famine so bad after this. So it's a lot of the citizens, you know, concentration camps, you know, and nuclear bomb drops. So they're all killing the citizens. Um, the people running it, the president, you know, Churchill, and all those people are fine and dandy. They're not on the front line, and that's the impression I got from them. And like, it basically didn't have nothing to do with Hitler, I guess, except for the fact he was in charge. But the big tragedy was the people that got killed. They got displaced. Homes got, you know, blown up and then they burned up. So it was a lot of reconstruction. You had to get the food back on. And that's what they want for us. That's what the white supremacists is going to bring here, water our land. And it's not going to be like, oh, everybody's going to be white. China's going to run up through here. Russia's going to run up through here. You know, everybody's going to run up through here. You know, and you know and the Republicans are just going to be, look, well, most of them are old, and then it'll be their children that'll suffer. You know, I just hope that we can make an example of white collar trash, con artists, uh, with the Trumps, so we no longer could have people that are just robbing money from America and paying money to Panama, paying money to Turkey, paying, you know, India, but not paying their taxes here, hurting America, but it's benefiting everybody else, but not us. And he's not helping our allies. So, you know, I mean, Trump worked really hard to make a lot of enemies and to say a lot of mean and nasty things, and just, you know, and it just shows so much in the debate that he's just a disgusting, horrible person. Like, why don't he try to be nice? You know, do one thing for the American citizen. Leave the White House. We'd appreciate it. Thank you.